Good morning and welcome to Wake Up to Broker Up with Mark, episode number 18 for 2026. Do you share what you know? That's an easy question, but do you share what you know? You are a wealth of information for buyers and for sellers, but are you sharing what you know? Do you wait for the consumer, the buyer or the seller, to reach out with you to ask you questions on things you could have covered at some other point when you were talking to them initially? And here's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the internet specifically, and we're going to talk about how listings are syndicated out into the marketplace. I saw on Rocks this week a situation where the consumer, the seller, was reaching out to the agent about what was happening out on the internet with syndication, more specifically with Zillow. And all I could think of was, could this have been avoided through a better communication on the front end, talking about how listings are syndicated out there in the big picture out to the internet? In other words, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, just so that you know, our listings are syndicated to the internet from the listing services. And when they do that, they send them out pretty much immediately, but it's not clear when those places out on the internet absorb the listings and start displaying the listings. Therefore, you may or may not see it for several days once it goes live in the system, just because that's hasn't been imported by them yet, or hasn't cleared whatever they need to clear to be displayed on the internet. Now, if you do that, you may cut down on the calls from the seller saying, where is my listing? How come it's not here? What's going on? Why isn't it on Zillow? Push the listings. The other thing I would advise you to do is to push the listings to them. In other words, while you know that it's been listed and uploaded to FMLS and Georgia MLS, then go out to the internet to various portals and retrieve the listing and email it to yourself, and then email it to the client. That way you're in control of when they see it and how they see it, and you can set the tone for that during your initial conversation with them by saying, hey, by the way, I'm going to send you the listings as they go and populate the internet. Maybe that'll help you. Now, the second thing is about the bigger picture internet is there are so many scams out there. I know that you, any of you, all of you, are the best real estate professionals in the world. And apparently the internet knows that too, because they reach out to you directly about properties, etc. Not really. The scam people do. And you got to remember that if it sounds too good to be true, I'm going to look at a house down here at the beach, so I'm going to call a random real estate agent who I don't know, inquiring about their specific listing, and then telling them, by the way, I'm going to send you a link so that we can have a video chat. No, it's just not realistic. Don't fall for it. If you have questions, err on the side of caution. Even in 2026, in general, that's not how people do business. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. I hope some of these tips helped. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.